We got married July 22nd, 2017. We had our first daughter, Shia, in 2018, and our second daughter via surrogacy, which we have in common, Shadina.
Now that's the thing. Okay, so can we just touch on that for a second?
Of course, we're sister wives, guys.
We have the same surrogate, and I know some people were like, "Wait, what?
They kids are sisters." I'm like, sure, why not? Let me tell you, if Shia and Shiloh are gonna have a sister, I'd rather it be Blaze and Riley. I
guess it is kind of different to say that the same person birthed
both our kids.
Our last child, children. I mean, to be clear, for those of you trying to figure it out, biologically, our youngest are our own. So,
right.
Blaze is me and Todd, and
Shiloh is Gerald and myself.
Right, but we had the same person to carry.
Yeah, it's just like an incubator. So it's like if I mix my ingredients at my house and then I take them to Candy's house and put them in her oven. Right. Well, hell, I still cooked it. It's still all my ingredients, my eggs, my milk, my flour that made the cornbread. Okay, we just used her oven.
Right.
We just used Shadina's oven, and it was a hell of an oven, and I appreciate that oven. Thank you, Shadina.
Yes, thank you, Shadina. Now, here's the thing: how did you feel when people would ask a question like, "Why would you and Candy have the same?"
Oh my God, you think that's? I mean, to me, that was light.
Really?
Hell, after I had to combat the rumors of me being y'all's second wife or me screwing you and your husband.
Mm-hmm. Which obviously that was on season, which season was it?
After you go through something like that, me sharing your surrogate is easy.
So you've been very transparent online and talking about some of the things that Shiloh dealt with from birth on. So can you explain exactly the condition that Shiloh had when she was born?
Oh, we have time. Shiloh was born with all the bells and whistles. She was born prematurely, 5 weeks early. When she was born, she let out a little cry. Everyone was happy and rejoiceful. And then she stopped crying and started turning blue. And then they were like spanking her and it was nothing. And then when she would cry, her color would come back and then she would stop crying and she would turn blue. So it was like, oh my goodness. So they kept suctioning her nose and they put the nasal cannulas in to give her oxygen through her nose. Nothing. And then they rushed her off to, I guess, the ICU. And when I saw my baby again, she was intubated and was on a breathing machine and had all the stuff. And then we found out that she had craniosynostosis, which is when your skull is fused together. She had coronal atresia and coronal stenosis, which is when you have boning and tissue that block both of your nasal passages. She had a tight tongue, so it had to be clipped. I'm going from head to toe, so I can remember all the things. She had a heart murmur, build up in her kidney. Her two middle fingers in both hands the tendons were tight. Her feet were clubbed, bleed turned in. She just had so much. Her lungs, obviously, she has a pulmonologist that see her, but she has 8 different specialists. So, because her lungs get filled, because sometimes she aspirates, so now she has a G tube for her feeds. But yeah, it's been a journey. They did genetic testing on her. And mind you, when she had all of these things, they were like, oh, maybe she has Charge syndrome because that could explain away all the stuff, but she didn't. Came back negative. It did come back that she had a duplication and a depletion in chromosome number 7. So I was like, well, what does that even mean? They were like, it's very rare. They only have 4 reported cases in the States for it. So they want to follow her. And what's crazy is when you do IVF, they give you the option to test your embryo for genetic abnormalities. We did all that. Of course, we were bear no expense. I mean, we want a healthy baby. And for whatever reason, they say it could be a mutation that happened, but we don't know much about it. We do know that they said when you're looking at something like this, it's almost like a book. All the pages are there, but when you open the book, the writing is backwards. So even all the paragraphs are there, just the writing's backwards. So basically what happens is it's going to take time for you to read that page, but it'll eventually happen. So it's going to take time. She's going to be delayed But, I say delay is not a denial. And she'll meet all her milestones. And she is meeting milestones now. She is progressing. I have to show you a video of her finally taking her steps. She took some steps this week. Yeah, so that's why I want to speak on it. I want to speak on that. She definitely, y'all, has come a long way. When I tell you, my girl is thriving. Like, we got her skull fixed. Her nose is wide open. She's breathing just like you and I. We're still working on her food. So she has a physical therapist. She has OT. She has speech. She has all the people to come to the house day in and day out. But, I wouldn't trade it for the world. When I tell you she's the light of our life, has the biggest, brightest smile. The best energy.
Wow,
and
that is so wonderful.
And I'm always reminded when I'm going through things, I look at her and I'm like, she's been through it all. She's been to the OR and been operated on over a dozen times. And yet she still has that same smile and same, so I don't want to get emotional, but she just really has been a blessing. The blessing I didn't think I didn't know I needed. And people will be like, how do you deal with it? And I'm like, you just kind of go, you deal with it. Because how are you not going to deal with it? Like, if you don't, like, then, I mean, she was given to me for a reason. Right. So it's like, she's going to thrive and she's going to survive.
I keep telling you, and I told you, we had this conversation before. I was like, of course, I would never want you to have to deal with anything that's, out of the ordinary. But if somebody was going to take that situation and overcome anything that could possibly happen, she was the best mama. You are the best mama that she could have had.
Thank you, Candy.
Because you made sure that she has everything she needs to, blossom and become.
And I could not do it without my husband. I will say he's more like Mr. Mom with her. Because while I'm on this journey and all the great things are happening in my life career-wise, he is like picking up the ranks and like taking over and just really doing a great job with making sure that she's getting all her appointments on time. Just with both of our girls, like he really is a blessing. That's why I say you got to get a good partner.
Yes,
I'm gonna go ahead and give him another baby.
Come on, somebody. Did we hear that right? Right here on Speak On It. What?
This guy got to give it to me. I just had an ectopic pregnancy in January.
I didn't know that.
Yes, it's been a year now. I had an ectopic pregnancy. I lost my left fallopian tube. So it's not that I'm not trying.
You're talking about last year.
Yeah, last January.
I thought you said this year.
I said it's been a year this January.
Come on now, I was there.
I know, but I mean, they don't know.
Yeah. So, y'all don't know. And see, that's the other thing. I think people, always, they be so judgy.
Yeah, they're like, oh, you just don't want to carry a baby because you don't want to mess up your body. I'm like, I'm trying.
And, a lot of things happen, and that's when true friendship. A lot of things happen privately that people are not even privy to.
Exactly.
So we had that moment together.
She came to see me in the hospital. You always come see me, though. Even when Shiloh was born and I was at the hospital 24/7, she bought me an iPad, y'all. And it was like, here, this will keep you busy by the bedside. And it did. I was like, oh, my God. I was catching up on all my Netflix shows, and it was really good. I didn't even know you could do this from a tablet. But, yeah, you're the real deal. Like, you're a real friend. You're the friend that everybody should have.
Speaking of friends and friendship, we about to get to the show.